Good morning, my Rapple people. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and we're sorry that we are running so far behind. Councilwoman Clarinda Calling Thunder sends her regard today. She could not be here. She is at a medical appointment. So the rest of us are here, and we will begin our address to you all this morning. Nialka. Now we will address issues that surround the removal of former Councilman Anthony L. Addison Sr. I want to start by saying this was one of the most painful situations I have ever dealt with. As Arapaho people, we avoid confrontation among ourselves. We strive to be collaborative and make decisions by consensus. But sometimes there comes a time that if you fail to deal with a wrongdoer, you fail the people. Because they take actions that hurt the tribes, everything that has happened regarding Al Addison and our former employee, Jim Conrad, our former lobbyist Mark Howell, our attorneys Andy Baldwin, Bethania Crocker, Kelly Rudd, the lawsuits, Addison's constant lies, misleading Riverton Ranger articles stem from one basic thing. Our former consultants made millions of dollars off of the tribe while our people suffered, and Addison's trying to get them back on the tribe's payroll. This is what this is all about. Money and greed. And they are trying to take over the tribe once again. We grew tired of these people and their friends making millions off of the tribe. We got rid of them and they want back in. Addison is doing everything he can to help them get back in. Let's get into how this all started. Last spring, the Business Council wanted to have Jim Conrad's performance evaluated before we decided if we would negotiate a new contract with him. While working for the tribe, Baldwin, Crocker, and Rudd drafted an employment contract for Jim Conrad that was completely one-sided in favor of Conrad. Under it, he could only be fired for a conviction of a felony, and if removed by the Northern Arapaho Business Council for any other reason, he could have been entitled to hundreds of thousands in severance payments. The terms of the contract were so one-sided, we believe BCR was doing a favor for Conrad at the expense of their client, the tribe. This contract is probably one of the reasons why Jim Conrad was so disrespectful to the Business Council and the Arapaho people. He knew it would be very costly for us to fire him. So, for example, Mr. Conrad acted like the casino was his own piggy bank. He spent lavishly. He didn't obtain Business Council approval. He refused to share information with us. When we were first notified Conrad that we would review his performance, he responded indiligently, even walking away mid-conversation while I was talking to him. I don't care if some guy is rude to me. I do care when, as chairman, I'm speaking to an employee of the tribe and he walks away. That is disrespectful to the Arapaho people. That I will not accept. Nobody on this planet could act this way to their bosses and expect to keep their job. But Conrad had friends that he knew could help him, and this network of supporters quickly went into action. First, Baldwin and Crocker and Rudd and Mark Howell tried to convince us that the evaluation was unnecessary and only Jim Conrad can do this job. Next, their supporters started false rumors that appeared to be attempts to intimidate employees and tribal members into supporting Conrad. You probably heard some of these rumors like, the casino will go bankrupt if Jim leaves, or the casino employees will walk out if he leaves. By the way, that was all nonsense. The casino was fine. Much better, in fact, when Conrad left because we weren't spending money lavishly. These consultants have then fed stories to the Riverton Ranger, which seems to relish in printing anything that portrays the tribe in a negative light. They have continually published stories critical of the tribe and council members and supportive of Conrad. We'll talk more about the Ranger and its efforts to support this group later. These consultants also even went so far as to create a fake Facebook page that they, of course, didn't put their name on and called it the Wind River Observer. It's been silent since they were fired from the tribe, but until last spring it was used to spread unfounded negative gossip about the tribe and the casino. While all this was going on, BCR and Hal continued to campaign to get Jim Conrad a new contract at all costs. We hired a firm to conduct a performance evaluation, and instead of executing our direction, Baldwin, Crocker, and Rudd actively worked against us so they could help keep this friend in his spot, controlling our tribe's largest revenue driver. Despite our clear direction, telling them to stand down, BCR began sending emails, drafting memos, and showing up to council chambers to try to shut down the evaluation. They probably charged us for all of this too. We don't know for sure because they refused to give us detailed invoices. To further intimidate us, Jim Conrad had an attorney send myself and Councilman Fastor's letters threatening to sue us. In the past, these sort of tactics that BCR pulled would silence and intimidate council. Not this time, and not this business council. We immediately pushed back on Jim Conrad's bogus threat and moved forward with our evaluation. When Conrad realized this evaluation could not be stopped, he hired another group to conduct a review of the casino operations. Not his performance, just how the casino was operating. This report included sensitive information regarding our casino operations and included a number of detailed security concerns, which were indeed problems they found with how Conrad ran the casino. This report is something any business would keep internal to prevent folks from taking advantage of these deficiencies. However, Jim Conrad leaked this report to the routine ranger, who used that to justify articles that suggested Jim Conrad should have his contract renewed. To make matters worse, think about a non-Arapaho encouraging the employees of the tribe to take political actions in our tribe. Arapaho people don't need outsiders in our politics. Of course, this is against tribal law and regulations, but ethics and laws don't matter to these people. Only making money off of the back of the tribe matters to them. BCR's heavy-handed campaign to save Mr. Conrad's job despite council clear direction for a performance evaluation before making the decision was one of the last straws for BCR. This is when we truly realized they don't work for the best interests of the tribe and only themselves and their friends. We fired them. This is where Mr. Addison comes into play. After BCR was fired, they no longer had access to inside information that could be leveraged to control the business council. To make up for this, Mr. Addison began secretly sending all the confidential information of the tribe to lawyers we fired. Think about that for 1 minute. Council decides to terminate lawyers. Our privileged and confidential communications are leaked by one of our own. Then they use this information to push press stories that would intimidate and embarrass the business council and the tribe. But we refuse to cower. We refuse to back down. For one reason, to do so would leave the tribe, the Arapaho people, more vulnerable to more abuse. Meanwhile, BCR refused to give us information that not only we demanded, but that they are legally obligated to give us to make them fulfill their ethical obligations before we were forced to file a lawsuit. We will get more into those details shortly. Ever since this happened, Addison and his bunch have continuously tried to do anything they can to interfere with our business. Let that sink in. A sitting council member actively working against the tribe to support outside consultants. This is a betrayal of our people and an insult to our tribal government. The way Addison defends these people makes us question, what do they have on him, or what is he getting out of it? Reputable lobbyists, casino executives, and attorneys would have moved on and got new clients if they are fired. Instead, this group is trying to get back in by doing everything they can to get their supporters elected to our tribal government. Are they simply trying to make more money off of our people? Are they hoping to have a more sympathetic business council dismiss the lawsuit that will hold them accountable? Our decisions to clean house were confirmed by the General Council in August of 2019 when Conrad, Howell, and Baldwin, Crocker, and Rudd were by unanimous vote permanently banned from ever working for the tribe again. if there ever was a sign it was time to move on, that should have been it. However, again, showing zero respect for tribal law, they are doing everything they can to get back in, and Al Edison has been doing everything he can to help them. The days of these people making millions while the Arapaho people suffer are over, and we are not going back. I will let Councilman Stephen Fasthorse take it from here. Ho ho.
Yeah, okay, Arapaho Nation. Thank you guys for being with us here today. As we segue, we move into another piece, which is the legal update, which we will have one of the tribal attorneys by the name of Charlie Gabriel give us the legal update and help you guys understand some of the actions that we have put forth to, again, hold these people accountable and ensure that the tribe gets its information. So I'll turn it over to Charlie Gabriel.
I'd like to start by saying that this is an attorney-client communication for the membership of the Northern Arapaho tribe. It's not for press purposes or attribution, and I'd ask that it not be shared outside of the tribe. My name is Charlie Galbraith. I'm an attorney for the Northern Arapaho tribe, and I've been representing the tribe in some of the matters that Chairman Spoonahunter discussed. And first and foremost, I know these matters are all still pending in the courts. The courts do not move as fast as the clients often would like, but it is part of the nature of the process. And I know the tribe would love to have these matters all resolved, but it's just impossible with the amount of work that judges have, their very full schedules, and their commitment to the diligence of getting their rulings right. So these things can't be rushed, but we'll proceed at the court's schedule. So as Chairman Spoonahunter discussed, there are several lawsuits, and effectively there are 5 lawsuits that have been filed relating to these facts. And the first of which was filed first by the tribe after the business council terminated the attorneys Baldwin, Crocker, and Rudd, who refused to return documents to the tribe and had not provided an accounting, so the tribe didn't know how much money they were owed back from BCR at the time. So the first lawsuit was the tribe against BCR, and that was for documents, accounting, so the tribe would know how much money BCR held of theirs or should be holding of theirs, and then for the return of that money. That case is still pending. In response to that case, Baldwin, Crocker, and Rudd brought a counterclaim, which is effectively another lawsuit suing the tribe. They sued their former client, the tribe, for breach of contract, unjust enrichment, breach of good faith, and that case has been resolved, and the judge dismissed it in the first ruling in that case. So BCR's lawsuit against the tribe has been dismissed. The tribe's lawsuit against BCR is continuing and is going through the discovery processes. The attorneys are seeking to get the information they need now to advance that case. As part of that case, not on the merits of the case, but on a what's called a Rule 11 motion, which is a rule about statements in litigation. That's one thing that has gotten a lot of attention. I'd like to make sure it's clear that that is not a final ruling on the case. That is an issue about language of the pleading, and one that the tribe disagrees with. And in that case, the complaint said that the tribe believed that more than $1 million may have been withheld by BCR. The tribe based that on an invoice they had showing roughly $2.4 million in the account, in BCR's trust account in 2018. The court, in ruling, in granting that motion, simply said that the tribe should not have said that there were potentially millions missing. The court did not address the invoice or any of the tribe's reasons for this assertion. What that was not a ruling on the case, but a ruling on a motion regarding that language. The tribe believes that it was a mistake and has asked the court to reconsider that ruling and are awaiting an order on that reconsideration, and the tribe will consider further review if needed. Either way, it's absolutely not a ruling on the case. It's not the merits of the case, and while it's in the same court, the court in the same order rejected BCR's argument for their lawsuit against the tribe. So this case is proceeding. It remains highly contentious, with the tribe's former attorneys continue to oppose the tribe as aggressively as possible, and that case will go on and without BCR's countersuit against the tribe. The second, I'll call it a set of cases because these two are closely aligned. Following the tribe's lawsuit against BCR, Al Addison, Sam Drescher, Faith Wallowing Bull, Rosalie Morin sued me and my law firm. They claimed in some very strong language that I had somehow, and my law firm had somehow taken over the tribe, and that we were therefore responsible for them being fired or getting outvoted within the tribal council. And they didn't sue the tribe. Obviously, they know they can't because the tribe has sovereign immunity, but they sued my law firm. We're defending that case at our own expense, but it's effectively a lawsuit against the tribe itself. And the court has recognized this and agreed that it's effectively a suit against the tribe. Because of that, we moved first to have Al Addison's attorney disqualified. He's a gentleman named Joel Vincent, who had previously worked for the tribe through the casino at the time that he was being paid by Jim Conrad. And that was on this specific matter. And Mr. Vincent has admitted that. He's admitted that he was paid to bring this lawsuit. So imagine that he is suing you with your money. Jim Conrad paid him $75,000 on his way out the door to defend Morin and Wallowing Bull. I've never seen anything like it. And the court agreed. The court was 100% ruled that it was convinced that this case could not proceed with Mr. Vincent representing him because of the conflict of interest. He issued an order removing him from the case, but giving them time to find a new attorney. That time frame has come and gone. They've asked for more time, but the court hasn't entered that final ruling on it yet because the plaintiffs have more time to continue without on the underlying part of the case, but they can't with their attorney. And thus far, no attorney has been willing to take that case. And one thing I think is important is that the court took this very seriously in disqualifying him. And in ruling on it, the judge said it was the first time in his about 30 years on the bench that he'd ever disqualified an attorney from a case. And in his motion, in his order from the bench, he also effectively invited the tribe to sue Vincent to get their money back. And this was the money that was paid improperly by Jim Conrad to him to bring a lawsuit against the tribe. Again, he's suing the tribe with your own money. I've never seen anything like this law. You can't make it. So in response, the tribe has sued Joel Vincent to get the $75,000 back. That's the fourth lawsuit. And that one is pending in the court still, and you will all be updated as it's resolved. And then the fifth one is, after all of this, Baldwin, Crocker, and Rudd, again, not suing the tribe, but sued the attorneys. And this time they claim that they have been defamed and had their contracts unjustly interfered with. Again, this is BCR effectively suing us, the lawyers, because you all fired them and hired us. And they imply that it was somehow unfair that the tribe decided to switch lawyers and that they deserve a massive amount of money because of that unfairness. And throughout the complaint, one of the main bases they cite for this unfairness is racism. That somehow it's racist against BCR as white people, that the tribe has hired attorneys, myself and some of my colleagues who are tribal members. And that case is ongoing in federal court now. So, these are updates about litigation that's in process. We don't have final rulings on anything yet beyond the BCR lawsuit against the tribe being dismissed. And you'll be updated further as these proceed, but as I said from the outset, I know it's not moving as quickly as the tribe or the membership would like, but it is the nature of litigation, and it's important that judges have the time that they need to get to the right outcome because of how important these cases are to the tribe and the entire community. So with that, I would just like to again remind people that this was an attorney-client communication between me and membership of the Northern Arapaho tribe, not for press purpose or attribution. And I am looking forward to the day I can return and see people in person. I am planning to be available at the General Council meeting on October 17th and would welcome the opportunity to have further discussions and answer any questions the membership might have. So thank you for your time, and I'll turn it back over, and I'll again apologize for the technical difficulties.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Now we'll move over to Ryan Ortiz, the CFO for the tribe, and he will be giving you a CARES update to the CARES funding that the tribe received. And one thing that I really want to state before I let Ryan do so is that, again, the Business Council has done our best through this whole situation to continue trying to move forward, because again, we weren't elected to go into these type of situations, but again, it's our duty as your leadership to defend the tribe and the people. And so we hope that clarifying a lot of these things will help all of us to be able to move forward and continue the good work and conducting the business that you have elected us to do. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to hear that, and hopefully that brings a little more clarity and understanding for you all. And again, we just appreciate you guys staying with us through this whole process. And on over to Ryan.
Thank you. I was asked to give a CARES Act funding update. Initially, the tribe received $26,195,944 from the U.S. Treasury Department. Of that funding, we have spent $16,196,309 with a remaining balance of just under $10 million. Early on, before there was a budget in place, we established a fund to start tracking the expenditures, and in that line item, we spent $172,750. 18,217 of that was for salaries and contract pay. 266,000 of that was supplies for the COVID camp that's down at the Arapaho Powwow grounds. 107,000 of that was to rent the trailers for the COVID camp down at the powwow grounds, and 33,189 of that was for funeral expenses and assistance for those funerals. Shortly after that, the Business Council created a budget, and I'll go through that budget line item by line item and let you know the expenses, what was budgeted and what has been expended so far. 1.5 million was budgeted for the new COVID department. 1.344 million has been spent so far. 404,600 of that is for salaries and taxes. 127,673 is for contract pay. 192,374 has been for COVID-related bills and supplies. $77,790,000 of that was used to purchase medical trailers for Wind River Family and Community Health Care. 259,207 was purchased for new vehicles for various different tribal programs. 73,175 were COVID-related rentals, assistance, and funeral expenses. 117,000 were for COVID stipends. 50,510 was a rental payment for the COVID camp, and 36,500 of that money was for lights to use at the COVID camp. Please keep in mind through this talk that all of these expenses are all COVID related and COVID workers. We spent in the first stipend to tribal members $5,275,000. That was to help all of the tribal members with various financial expenses that they had that stemmed from the COVID pandemic. We're working on, as you know, the next payment of $300 to adults that will be right around $2 million. So in total, the Business Council will have given out $7,275,000 to tribal members to help with the financial expenses for COVID-related issues. The tribe sent out in the first payment 10,515 checks. We still have 525 checks not cashed. There's 287 of them in the COVID payment office, and there's 238 that aren't accounted for or cashed. For those of you that have not received the first payment, please continue to work with the folks in the COVID payment department, and we'll try to get that taken care of. We're working on inputting the second round of payment checks as we speak. We've been working long hours and over the weekend to try to get this done as quickly as possible, and we hope that we can have those mailed out by the end of this week. We put the Business Council budgeted $1 million for our senior programs, and to date we've spent $127,000, and those are for new delivery trucks for both Ethity and Arapahoe. We've worked with contractors and architects to begin to start planning on various improvements at those Arapahoe and Arapahoe and Ethity facilities, and those will consist of maybe new kitchen equipment on a need basis. We're going to fix the roof at Arapahoe. There'll be new floors in each facilities, and there'll be a new HVAC system at Arapahoe.
3 meals a day.
And the very soon they'll be starting to have 3 meals a day. The next line item is $1 million set aside for tribal students and grade school students. We've spent $280,000 of that to purchase computers, and they're going to be paying internet bills. It's my understanding that the COVID department began to hand out computers, and I was informed yesterday that they will be inputting internet payments for tribal members starting today. We've put aside just over $2.5 million to renovate Blue Sky Hall and Great Plains Hall. We're finalizing a contract with a company called Cross Anderson to begin the drawings and to get construction plans to begin construction. You should see things moving hopefully within the next couple of weeks on the renovations of those halls. We spent just over $7.2 million, and what we used for that was to pay employees when everything was shut down to comply with the intertribal stay-at-home order. The good news about this is that there's an allocation that the tribe received from the state of $7,036,000, and that money, $7,036,000, will be used to offset what was paid out. That $7 million is going to be reallocated. A lot of it going to help Wind River Family and Community Healthcare with their projects at the Arapahoe Clinic and at the former hotel in Riverton. The remainder will be put towards the facilities and halls upgrades. We've given the Wind River Family Community Healthcare $1 million to do work that they needed to do. As of now, we spent $371,000 to purchase the hotel in Riverton. We've spent $179,000 of 1.5 on facility upgrades, and keep in mind these upgrades will all be drawn under the construction plans with the contractor Cross Anderson. So like I said, we'll begin to see improvements on all of the tribal facilities, including bathroom improvements and new fixtures, touchless fixtures and all of those, HVAC units, and any issues with the roof, with the ceilings and roofs. We budgeted $1,099,000 for unforeseen issues. To date, we've spent $223,000 of that. We purchased 2 new vehicles for the water and sewer department. We purchased 13 semi-loads of firewood for the senior wood program, a skid steer and trailer for the donation program, and we sent $62,000 up to the Intertribal Council to help with those programs up there to do COVID-related work. We're just in the stages of finalizing contract to do a water and wastewater assessment of both the Ethity and Arapahoe systems. That'll be a complete plan that analyzes the need of replacement, maintenance, and be able to prioritize the issues that we have with our water systems. We also intend to put water stations on each of the lines so that people who haul their water have a much more convenient way to fill up their cisterns. We've also sent $500,000 to the ranch to help offset their loan payments this year, so that they didn't have to sell off their herd in the middle of in a time of a down market. And the last thing that we've done so far with the CARES Act money is we spent $454,000 on a new sewer jetter truck. That is to help make sure that our main lines we have the ability to clean those out ourselves so that sewer systems don't get backed up. And that's all the money. That's all that we have purchased with the CARES Act funds. So the assets that we've acquired with these are 3 medical trailers, 3 vehicles to haul the medical trailers, 1 small van that's used to transport COVID positive patients, and that's at Wind River Family Community Healthcare. 2 vehicles, 1 half-ton and 1 1-ton truck for the donations program. 2 1-ton delivery trucks at the water and sewer department. The 1 cat skid steer that's for the donation program, and the sewer and jetter truck. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for that update. We've been diligently working very hard on some of the issues that we know the tribe has. So a lot of times when we went through the distinguishing which areas that this money should go to, we really relied on a lot of community input with what people had been telling us that their needs were. So we've tried our best to help with those needs. I'm glad that you all tuned in today to hear this update. We're available anytime for you to speak with us. I'm certainly glad that you're all here and want to know what is going on within the tribe. Ho ho.